everyone, it's Justine. Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be doing some bulk cards, bulk Christmas cards for Christmas in July celebration at scrapbook.com. At the moment, until July 29th, there are 20% off Christmas, holiday, winter, glitter, gift making, and celebration themed products. There's also a free gift with your purchase, the Nouveau Stone Drops in Boulder Gray while supplies last. There's also Christmas in July as far as new Christmas releases that have come out that are available now, like from Tim Holtz, Sizzix, Tonic, etc. And not only that, there's also 50% off the scrapbook.com exclusive products like their storage, their inks, sponge daubers, blocks, brushes, card and envelope sets like I use in this video, as well as storage and organization, platinum 6 die cutting machines, really just the stamps I'm going to use in this video so much. There's also a sale on Distress Oxide inks. You can get a free Scrapbook and Card Today magazine with your order. I'm just going to link down below in the video description to the coupon page where they have all the different things going on listed for your convenience. So let's get started and jump into the cards themselves. So when I'm creating bulk cards, I generally have the idea that I want something simple, easy to replicate, that doesn't have too many steps. And that's going to mean different things to different people. It depends on how much time you have to invest in your cards. So for me personally, I like to use colored cardstock or some sort of patterned cardstock, or like this specialty cardstock from Tonic Studio, Satin cardstock in red. You see it has sort of a shiny look to it. And I like to cut my card panels first. So I'm going to cut as many card panels as I need cards. So for this video, I'm going to make about 8, but it's completely up to you, however many you want to make. You can make it easy and grab your paper cut at 4 1/4 inches on the long side, on the short side, and 5 1/2 inches on the long side, and that's going to get no waste at all. It's just going to cut your cardstock exactly in 4 pieces. Or you can do what I'm doing here and measure them 4 by 5 1/4. So if you do them where you have no waste, you're not going to have any sort of frame around your card. And if you do them in the way where there's a little bit of waste, you're going to have a white frame around your card. Another thing I like to buy are pre-cut and scored card bases from scrapbook.com. These are Neenah Solar White cardstock, and I'm going to count out as many bases as I need. Another tool that I really enjoy using is my MISTI stamping tool. This makes things super quick and easy for bulk cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my card bases and I'm going to lay them into the MISTI stamping tool. You can actually lay a few at a time if you want, or put one individually at a time. It's completely up to you. And what I like to do with my card bases first is I like to stamp, for example, my personalized stamp on the back, and I also like to grab the sentiment I'm going to use in the inside of the card. And I'm going to be using a stamp set from scrapbook.com today. This one here is called Naughty and Nice, so it has kind of some funny sayings. And depending on what kind of people that you're sending the card to, you might want to, personalize the sentiment a little bit more. So for me, I ended up using a few different cards for a few different stamps for the insides. All I had to do was change out the stamps. So I could stamp 10 using this sentiment and then change out the sentiment and stamp another 10 with a different sentiment. Completely up to you. So for this one here, I decided to do If It's Christmas, Calories Don't Count. I have a few friends that I think would really get a kick out of that one. And again, just stamp as many times as you need. You don't have to change out the sentiment at all, but I'm going to just to show you some of the sentiments that are available in this Naughty or Nice set because I think they're super funny. So moving on to my second sentiment now, it's great to be on the naughty list with you. I think that one's also super cute and has a really nice script font to it. Then I'm going to go on and stamp a few with the next sentiment here. This one I'm also stamping using black VersaFine ink. And it says, "Don't get your tinsel in a tangle." I've seen this sentiment before and I just think it's super funny. And then I'm just going to change it out again just to give you an idea, as I said, about what kind of sentiments are in the stamp set, because I think they're really cute and add some humor to your Christmas cards. I mean, why not? This next one says 364 days of fun and 1 day of coal. Worth it. I also think that one is a really adorable one, and I think there's plenty that would find that pretty funny as well. I like the fact that these are like a naughty and nice one, and so there's nice sentiments, there's some, naughty humor, but it's not humor that I don't think anybody would get offended by, but still a little bit sassy, and I like that. So I'm just going to fold over all of these card bases so that they're all ready to go. That's the important thing when making in bulk is you don't just make one card start to finish, you do everything in an assembly line. So I'm folding everything right now. I stamped everything at the same time. It's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of hauling out supplies each time. Also, I wanted to give you just a quick look here. I remember at the beginning of the video I cut 2 different size cardstock, so I just want to show you now what that looks like. So if I were to use the one with a little bit of waste, I get this nice white frame around my card. And if I use the one with no waste, my whole background is going to be that red cardstock. So it just depends on the look that you personally like and whether you're okay with wasting that little strip. So I'm grabbing really 2 big bold sentiments here. One is from the Big Bold Holidays and one is from the Big and Bold Christmas set exclusive to scrapbook.com. And that's another thing I really like to do is because I have this nice bold background, all I really need is a large sentiment. So you've noticed I put both of them on my MISTI stamping tool so I can stamp 2 at a time. This makes things a little bit faster when I go do this. You can see the stamp sets here. I love the 3 sentiments you get on each of these. They're super great and I think there's something for everyone. And by stamping 2 at a time, that means I have to stamp less often, or I have to move my MISTI tool less often. I'm going to cover them in gold embossing powder as soon as I stamp them because I don't want the VersaMark ink to dry out at all. And then I'm going to stick them off to the side, not one on top of each other, but one side by side, so that I can go in after and heat them up and melt that embossing powder. But again, I am just doing this step over and over. The stamp, cover in embossing powder, set to the side. Now the size I used for the cardstock is 4 by 5 1/4. This is exactly the same as the red cardstock that I have. The reason why I use this, I will get a little bit of waste, is because I have them pre-cut, but it is big enough that I can stamp them both. What I also like is I don't have to trim anything off the bottom or the sides. All I need to do is get my paper trimmer and cut one side of it, and it's going to be all ready to go for my card. So I'm just melting that embossing powder. The way that you can tell if it's melted is if it's gone shiny rather than matte, and it has a smooth look rather than a look that is gritty. Once again, it's really up to you as to how complicated you want to make this. So you could have just simply stamped them as well instead of embossed them. But for me, embossing doesn't take too much time, and it was the only thing in the card really that I was taking some time to do other than just, cut and glue. So I thought I wanted to have one element of my card feature a technique, this embossing technique, and then I would be good to go. So as you can see, I'm just lining it up on my paper trimmer and giving it a cut, and then I have all my sentiments set off to the side. Now, if you're making a lot of Christmas cards, once you get to this stage, I totally recommend recruiting a little worker, whether that be a kid or a partner or something like that. All you need to grab is some tape runner. I'm using some tape runner from scrapbook.com. I'm adding the card panels to the card bases first, and then I just need to add my sentiments and I'm good to go. And I really think that anyone can do this part, especially if you're doing the full size, so the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 backgrounds where there's no frame, because then you don't really have to worry about much being straight. So this is a very simple card. I like to make these bulk cards for, just the general people in my life that, I like to send to every year. For my crafting friends or the people I know that really appreciate the work that goes into cards, then I happily make those people individual cards. And don't forget, you could add your sentiments, of course, to the tops or the bottoms of your cards to add a bit of variety. But for the most part, I just send out a couple of bulk designs. I might not just make this card here. I've made 8 of these right now, but I might make a few other designs that have 8 or 10 so that I have a few different ones. That way, if I'm sending to multiple people in the same family, they get a little bit of a different card rather than them all being the same. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope you enjoyed making these bulk cards with me and that you follow the tips. I'm going to link below to the scrapbook.com sales that are going on. Not only that, but I'm also going to link to the video that I did on the scrapbook.com channel that features a similar technique or a similar looking card with a different card panel that is really, really beautiful. So thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.